The Hartley Show is an entertainment program and does not own any of the copyrighted material featured in this episode. All copyrighted material featured will be used as fair use for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, and/or research. Taki.
Today on The Hartley Show, I'm going to talk about politics and morality in the world of comics, just because you can't possibly hate me enough now, can you? Hey ya. Now, I don't know about you, but I am completely exhausted by the world of just politics as it stands right now. I don't think I really need to unpack this too much. We live in a crazy, vitriolic world. But you're probably asking yourself, well, what the hell does this have to do with comic books? And I'll tell you right now, when I go to my Twitter feed is compiled of a whole bunch of comic guys. And I used to go there to enjoy the world of comic writers and comic artists talking about comic books. But now when I go there, all I see is the world of politics. It's either Ethan Van Sciver going on about how great Trump is and shut up, you bunch of crybaby snowflakes, or it's Tony Bedard or Gail Simone or Mark Wade or Nick Spencer going on about how all those Trump supporters are a pain in the ass. And there's no middle ground ever. There's almost no common ground ever. But it gets right down to this weird core concept of morality to me. Comic books are inherently about larger-than-life moralistic figures. People that go around doing everything they can to help the world around them be a better place. You know, be the old adage of if you want the world to be a better place, go and make it the world that you want it to be. So one thing I find really strange about comic fandom, by and large, is that for whatever reason, and I guess I'm about to explain whatever reason, but a huge contingency of comic fans enjoy comics because it's escapism. They don't look to comics to explore the world around them. They look to comics to get out of the world around them because it's driving them crazy. So I think what we're facing in many, many ways right now, just in the world in general, is a decay of escapism. It's harder and harder to get away from the bulk of crap in the world, even in your four-color comic superhero books. And look, I'll be the first guy to say that anybody who knows me knows I talk about politics all the time. Maybe not so much in the show here, but in the real world, I think my local friends would probably all say that I probably sometimes exhaust them with my talk in politics.
So much talk in politics all the time with the politics. I need a nap.
Politics. They need a nap, but I barely even talked about it already.
Kill me.
But, you know, personally, I do believe, as I've sort of alluded to, that we all have a certain responsibility to be a well-informed public. And frankly, I believe in the great social contract that we all should be trying to help one another out. And, you know, it's doing little things like obeying laws we all agree on, blah, 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 blah. I need to get something off my chest. Punching Nazis. I exist because my grandfather was part of the Canadian forces that went to The Hague to help liberate them from Nazi occupation. The Hague in Holland was under Nazi occupation for about 5 years at that point in time, and my great aunt had just died of starvation because, you know, that's what Nazi occupation was like. In so doing, him and my grandmother, and here I am today, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't really need to explain that part of the, do I? But he fought Nazis, my grandfather did. He was an actual war hero. A Nazi was somebody who was a part of the Nazi movement. They went around Europe murdering people en masse. They were part of massive genetic purges. And they weren't these modern day coddled, I want to use the word sycophant. Sycophant? Huh? But coddled, spoiled brats that glorify horrible old shit because their grandfathers gave them a free world by fighting real Nazis. If you honestly think the answer to someone saying things you don't like is to punch them in the face, whether they call themselves a Nazi or not, you don't understand the other side of that equation. If you're suggesting it's okay to punch someone for saying things, then it's okay to punch you for saying something. You either believe in freedom of speech for everybody or you don't believe in it at all. And it's that simple. I don't care how much these loudmouth assholes spew hate and venom. Punching them just gives in to their argument that we're crazy.
Hate breeds hate.
Hate breeds hate. And discussion's really important, and we're losing that. We're losing that rapidly right now. Everybody needs to take a giant deep breath, compose themselves for a moment, and remember the only way we're going to get past all of this nonsense is to talk and discuss things and find common ground. And we do have it. We all have it. We all want the same things more or less. We want to be able to live our lives and be left alone. And that's what our superheroes fight for, every single last one of them. So, let's use superheroes as a common ground to find a way around all this nonsense and stop having our world of superheroes be a way to divide us. When people go after Nick Spencer for defending freedom of speech and saying that Captain America wouldn't have punched that modern-day neo-Nazi in the face, and then all the fandom flipped out saying, well, Captain America punched Hitler in the face, they're missing the point that I just made. Hitler was an actual Nazi. That David Duke guy, or whoever it was, that Spence guy who got punched in the face, he's just a coddled rich brat. And the writer differentiating the two, come on, man, leave the guy alone. He has all the right in the world as the writer of Captain America to make the difference between a modern-day coddled brat and Hitler. So there you have it, my little diatribe about morality and politics in the world of comics. But by all means, I've been talking. Why don't you let me know what you think about this topic? Respond below in the comments here on YouTube or on Facebook or Twitter or wherever this thing shows up, maybe even Tumblr. Oh, right, you can't respond on Tumblr. Anyways, thanks for watching. As always, giant thanks to Taz for letting us film here, and we'll see you next time.